I've just been down to bother the chickens in incredibly heavy rain, which is why I'm looking a bit dishevelled, probably quite a lot dishevelled, but I don't care. Um, Very wet. I've got my raincoat thingy on, but still got quite wet. I stood there. I thought I'm going to put a new straw bale in for them to start the start of their deep bedding. So I went to fetch the straw bale that's only got one baler twine left on it, and started taking chunks of it out so that I could loosen it, so that I could take the very tight baler twine off, but I couldn't. So I was taking chunks out, small chunks, using all the strength I have in my hands, which isn't a lot. And I was down there quite a while doing my chicken bothering, and Mark started to come down because I think he was worried about where I was, what was going on, which is a good thing because quite often I think he forgets that I've gone down there, and I worry that something might happen and he won't. Um, he'll forget. He'll be busy doing something. So he started to come down. No crutch. I wasn't impressed. It's so wet and slippery out there, but he hadn't got his crutch with him. Coming down carefully, but no crutch. And I said, well, I'm pleased you've come because I need somebody to cut through the baler twine so that we can undo the straw bale and spread it. And he went, I haven't got my knife with me. And I went, what? He's always, always, always got a bloody great Leatherman in his pocket, amongst other things. And I've been moaning about it recently. And he's taken it, he's not got it in his pocket. So he'd got no knife either. I couldn't believe it. 23 years he's always had a Leatherman or something in his pocket, and not now. Takes 10 to 23 years of moaning to get something changed. But he's got stronger hands than I have, so he pulled some out and managed to, then it loosened it enough for us to be able to break the bale up. So we put a lot underneath their roost, because what happens is as that breaks down, as that starts to compost, it gives off heat, which is what they need in winter. So I've got one more straw bale. I will ask Laurence for more, I think, at some point. But I've got one more straw bale that I can put on in, I don't know, early January or something. But it's nice for them today because it is so wet. If they go back in there, which they have done, they get a bit wary about, oh, what are you doing? There's something in there I don't know. But if they go back in there, because it's absolutely heaving with rain, there's lots of seed heads that they can scrape through, and it's a nice thing for them to scrape through, nice and dry and clean, instead of their dusty old stuff that's full of dust and feathers and mouse droppings, probably because I saw a mouse again. I don't know what we're going to do about that. It's so difficult, when you've got food out for your chickens, to keep mice out. And the feeder we have is one that you can hang from the ceiling, but we've done that before and mice just climb down the rope. So it's not easy to keep vermin out, really, without putting poison down. People get angry about us putting poison down because of the knock-on effect to other wildlife, and I appreciate that. But my chickens are at risk of, if we get rats as well as mice, they're at risk of Wheals. Is it Wheals disease? So, I got to protect my chickens. So I made you a vlog yesterday out in the garden. It was a damp autumn day, showing you the chickens and the sheep and talking about what was going to happen this week. And I didn't publish it because then I made the vlog about the Buy Me a Lifestyle vlog, which I wanted to publish first. Yesterday's vlog I won't publish. This will replace that, because yesterday's was just really, not particularly interesting unless you are a staunch follower. So yesterday Mark had his every other staple removed. His wound is still looking really good. I took his compression stockings off yesterday. We're meant to be picking up the above knee ones, but I don't think he needs them. We need to check, really. He's certainly not got any edema now. And he's mobile, he's walking around. He had a bit of a, I think I might have mentioned this in the blog I'm not publishing, he did have a bit of a backward step, gone a bit backwards over the weekend, but he seems to be back on track now. Keeping on top of painkillers is important. He doesn't, because he's not someone that takes tablets, he doesn't remember when he last took tablets, and then forgets to take the next lot and doesn't keep on top of it, and then it's like he needs them because there's been a gap. So I'm trying to keep track of that. I think he's got so used to relying on me keeping track of stuff that that's what he does. And I think also his memory's not as good as it was. So yeah, got to keep on top of his pain. Walking well, walking down the garden without a crutch, which I'm not happy about. But so he's got physio this afternoon. That's the first one since Friday. That again is not good. The gap, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, because I don't think she's working on a Monday. We could have an appointment on a Monday with a different physio, but it's quite nice to keep up with the same physio. So she doesn't work on a Monday, so he's got Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday physio this week. And I think if we're lucky, we'll be able to go to art on Thursday together, which we've not been back to art since before Toussaint, I think, the Halloween school break. And on Friday, so yeah, Staples out tomorrow, and then on Friday we've also got a doctor's appointment, the two of us, in the morning, and physio in the afternoon. So it's busy. We're finding it busy. We don't normally do much in the week, and every week is quite full. So we're siestaing a lot, so much so that I didn't really sleep well last night. I think I probably had one too many siestas yesterday. I made a nice loaf of bread this morning. It took me a couple of days to get to the point of baking it, and I've decided that from now on I will be doing the cold pot method, which is not preheating the oven. You put your bread into your cold, what do people call it? I call it a casserole pot. Other people call it a Dutch oven. You put it into your Dutch oven and you put it into the oven and turn the oven on high and cook it for, I think I cooked it for about 45 minutes with the lid on, and then around 5 to 10 minutes with the lid off on 240. So, and it's come out nicely. I think I've misunderstood some of the instructions from what does he call himself, Food Geek, about proofing, and I'm not proofing to more than 100%. I'm stopping it as it gets to 100%, like doubled, because I understood that there's a risk of over-proofing if you let it go more than that. But I think yesterday's bread would have gone more than that. And as long as you keep an eye on it and catch it before it starts to stop, I think I might have ended up with a bigger loaf. It's come out really well. I'll show you. Not bad, eh? Broken my eating window. Been up since 6 and I was really hungry, so I had some. So the crumb should be bigger than that. That's better. That's more open than I've had for a while. So I'm getting there. And yeah, it should have bigger holes in it, I think. But overall, I'm quite happy with that. So I have, I've refed my starter. And then later today I'll start another loaf off because I want to start getting back on top of that, because I didn't have any bread for last night. We had soup. I'd made soups. We had the pea and ham soup last night with the croutons that I'd made with some stale bread. I note that my daughter asked me some time back, will you make me a loaf of bread a week? And I took her a loaf over weeks ago, and she's not asked me for more. I don't think she liked it, and she hasn't told me, but that's fine. It's not an issue. It's easy actually, because I don't have to think, oh God, I haven't got enough bread for Joe, so that's fine. I had a nice time there the other day. It was nice to spend a couple of hours together just chatting and catching up, and just chatting and catching up. Not something we've done for a long time, because when she was further away, it was always a sort of like a planned visit, and we'd both go together, and we'd either go and take food over, or we'd eat food, and it sort of had more formality to it. Whereas now she's only 20 minutes away. It's nice. It can be quite informal, and I'll come over and have a cup of tea. So that was good. I think that's it really for now. Yeah, I think that is it. If it isn't tough. So the rain's left off a bit now. It has rained a lot this morning, and it has left off, but the forecast is just for a very wet day. I think there are flood warnings in the Vienne, but I mean, where we are, we're quite high, but I think the rivers are definitely, what do they say? They say they've left their beds. They've left their beds. Yeah, in French, and I can't remember how that is said now, but they've left their beds. So yeah, the rivers have definitely been doing that, I've noticed anyway, over the last few days. So I expect we'll see some flooded rivers as we travel out this afternoon to the physio. Okay, have a good Tuesday.